Hi, everybody. Let me pull the stream up. I don't even have it up yet. No, not mini player. Okay. Hi. Hi, how are you? Hi. Okay, can you hear me? Mic check. Hi, everybody. It is Friday, and you are watching Insane Games TV. And my name is Lily, and that means it's time for Lily's News because I have a lot of things that I have to say about a lot of things that happened this week. This week was a content thief nightmare. So I'm just going to jump into. Am I in focus? Probably not. I'm just gonna jump into what we have to talk about. A little sip of water, and then we'll get going. I need to make like an intro. I need an intro. Loud and clear. Hi, Jeanette. Jeanette, I got your present. Thank you so much. I was just gonna text you after this. Thank you so much. That's really cool. I've never tried the lotion, so I'm really excited to try it. Thank you. So hi everyone, it's Insane Games TV. This is Lily's News. I'm Lily, and I have things to talk about. So let's start with the big one, right? And we'll follow up with little smaller ones. I guess not smaller ones. They're just as insane. So this past week or so, XQC has been making headlines. I don't say like actual headlines. Hi, Jennifer. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for being here. XQC is a very, very large streamer. We've talked about him on here before. XQC is a massive Twitch streamer. And as of late, he was a gamer, but now he does chair reacts, is what they call it. So he sits in a chair and reacts on, picture-in-picture content. People's content, videos, movies, TV shows, TikToks, he reacts. And the big topic, this is my natural hair, thank you. Yes, it is. The big topic with XQC and his style of reacts is that they do not transform the content. So it can't really be considered commentary or fair use of the original IP, which is the original content. And that can and has caused a lot of problems for a lot of content creators just in general. And we see larger issues happening with smaller channels and larger channels and larger creators getting kind of off scot-free. And so this is the main issue with XQC. So he'll sit and he'll watch a video and just say, wow. or say something so non-understandable. This man talks in a way, and I understand that there's an accent and probably a language, but I don't know too much about this man. So I don't know if English is his first language, but there's definitely a really heavy accent. But he speaks so fast and everything is so jumbled and he's so inarticulate with his words that it will just, that's what it sounds like. At least to me anyway. I know a lot of other people have a hard time understanding him as well. And so this has been a problem for a lot of creators. Not enjoying their content being shown to hundreds of thousands of people and it not being shown in a transformed way where commentary isn't added, where there isn't analysis of the content. It's just straight a re-upload. And the tough part about this is there's a lot of creators and a lot of times where XQC will just be a chair. An empty chair, which then it is just a re-upload of the content. Oh man, this man has done so much. So talking about XQC and content theft, I know personally, if I were to make something and put it out on the internet and have a large creator react to it, analyze it, add commentary, stop and pause, add a conversation, put their own thoughts and opinions to my content, good or bad, I would say, wow, I'm reaching a whole new audience, and this could potentially be good for me. It could also potentially be bad for me, but any press is good press nowadays, apparently. And so that to me is good. But the way XQC sits and just kind of gibbers at something and then will scream in shock or awe, and then sometimes disappears and then just leaves the content as it is, isn't what someone who creates content wants. Hi, Glenn. How are you? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here. I also have issue with XQC completely jacking someone's thumbnail. Laverne, how are you? Welcome to Lily's News. So XQC is known for completely taking the original thumbnail to the content as well, like a YouTube video, and using that thumbnail for the original video as his thumbnail, but just plastering his face on it. And that to me is completely inappropriate. That breaks bounds that only a scumbag, a scummy boy, would willingly do, because you are purposefully, it's not an accident, it's not a coincidence, you are purposefully mimicking the video, the original video, to snatch up potential viewers of the original content. So we have the original content and XQC's face on the thumbnail. Of course, there are very few content creators who have better recommendation levels than XQC. So if a video is uploaded and then within 6 or 8 hours, XQC snatches up that thumbnail, puts his face on it, reacts to the video and uploads it, XQC's video is going to go out to so many more people, removing the potential views from the original video. Ronnie says it's infuriating to be honest, that people just get away with restreaming content. His commentary with the empty chair is insulting. Yeah, and he even has a nickname for the chair when he's reacting and he's gone and it's just an empty chair. Glenn says never heard of him. That's okay. You don't waste your time looking him up. Just take what I say as you know me, Glenn, that I'm fairly level-headed when it comes to people and their outrageous actions. There's no need to look him up. If you don't know him, don't really waste your time. Why would anyone watch an empty chair? Jeanette, mama. It's funny because when he does have an empty chair, his clicks and views do go up. So which tells me that more people are actually there to see the original content, which makes it even worse because it's taking them away from the actual original content. It's so frustrating because he'll do this on Twitch or on Kick, where there are much more lenient I don't want to say rules, but tendencies for creators when it comes to using other people's content and it being immediately, alarms immediately going off that you are just re-uploading something. Yes, ma'am. So it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. So XQC went on the H3 podcast to debate, which is a very loose way of titling the really Sarah, when you say infuriating, I don't know if anyone saw the XQC H3 debate, but I wanted to pull my hair out, and I love my hair. I wanted to rip my hair out strand by strand, it made me so, I'm hot, thinking about it, it made me so angry because I am a little guy. I am a little tiny pea in the world of YouTube creators. I am just a pea. Even in my niche of my other channel, I am just a pea in the smaller lake of creators there. And if someone did that to me, I would scream. But also there are massive consequences for going on, say Twitter or directly onto their Twitch or something as they're streaming your content and saying, hey, that's mine. link me, link out to the original content. Like, you can't just steal my content. Like, there are so many consequences to that. XQC has so many humans, why I don't know, watching him and like follow his every word. And so even if he says like one negative thing about you coming to like attack him about stealing content, those little humans with their little human brains are going to mass attack this content creator that would say, hey, like, you can't steal my content, you stole my views, like, I need compensation or something like that. So, oh, thank you, Laverne. That really means a lot. Sometimes I do feel like I'm like really teeny tiny in my Lily's Lottery channel, but I mean that's just. And then of course I go through the questions in my brain like, well, what if I was a man? So it feels like it sometimes, but the majority of days, I can realize that what I do have is massive compared to a lot of other people who are just starting out as well. But it's hard to not feel that way when you see what we see, Laverne. So XQC went on H3, and Ethan Klein and XQC, it was a video call, so there's a delay that already pisses me off. I hate when people interrupt people, and Ethan Klein is known to just interrupt people just in general, but when there's that like hair or two delay in between like a Zoom call, it infuriates me because you gotta finish your sentence. I need you to finish your sentence because I need to know. It's like finishing a song, like don't play me part of the song. Finish the song. Like, it's the waiting for the song to finish and then you can get out of your car to go back home after you go to the grocery store. Or those like stickers, when like refrigerators have plastic on them, the videos where they cut off before the plastic comes all the way off. Don't do that to me. I hate that. That's terrible. So the interrupting on its own, like without the actual conversation being had, was tough for me, but I sat through it and I watched even more clips of it afterwards just to kind of keep it in my brain and try to answer my own questions that I had. And XQC was very adamant about not caring that he's stealing people's content. And that's just the type of person that he is. That's just the dog eat dog world that he lives in, even though he was just paid almost $100 million by Kick to stream whatever the hell he wants. So it's a very dog eat dog world. He can do whatever the heck he wants, and it's up to the smaller creator or the creator of the content that he's reacting to reach out to him after he already steals the content and re-uploads it to YouTube and re-uploads it to, and then other people re-upload it because they rip XQC's content, and then all the views and the momentum that a video could have potentially had is gone. It's up to the creator of the original content to reach out to XQC and say, you stole my content, you also didn't tag me, you didn't give me any respect, you didn't actually add anything to it. It's up to them to find XQC, one of the biggest internet personality streamers in the whole world. And that is diabolical. That is so utterly diabolical. And it's disturbing, honestly. You are so completely out of touch with reality that you think it's okay to do massive harm to someone and then expect them to find you. What? No. This makes me so mad. I'm like sweating. It makes me so frustrated because how dare you? How dare you sit in your undecorated house in your little computer chair but in front of your big ass giraffe and say it's your job to find me for doing harm to you? I'm sorry. What? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that a person with a soul could be that much of a jerk. It's not hard to tag someone. It's not hard to send your viewers over to the original content. It's not hard to cut the original content short and say, if you want to see the rest, go watch go give them some views. It's not going to affect you, XQC. You already have all of the money. You already have all of the views, and you already have all of the watches. Like, I don't care. Like, none of that matters to me. You know, like, none of that matters to me. You also have a terrible hairdo, and that needs to change incredibly fast. But I also don't watch you, so I don't care. It's just so frustrating to me. So XQC's main point, I don't care. I can steal your content. I don't care. You have to come find me. Okay. And then his other point was trying to convince the people watching the stream that his content is just as transformative to make it legally fair use. So fair use of someone's content is you have to transform it. You have to not play the whole entire thing and not say anything. Basically, you have to add something to it. You have to analyze it. You have to look a little deeper into it. You have to give it a little bit of zhuzh. You have to zhuzh it up a little bit. You have to bring something else to the table, because sitting in the corner of a video and just re-uploading someone else's content is against the fair use law, right? Okay, so XQC tried very, 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 very hard to convince the people watching this debate. It wasn't a debate. It was a terrible, awkward, non-transformative conversation. That his content was actually transformative, and just as transformative as someone like Ethan Klein on the H3 podcast. Which is really heartbreaking that you are that delusional to think that it is. I've been watching the H3 podcast for a very long time, and there have been moments, there have been moments where I'm like, you should probably say something about this, but nobody's perfect. But also, Ethan and the H3 podcast try really hard to not just straight up upload someone else's content when XQC goes out of his way to do so. XQC doesn't hit pause on a video while he goes and takes a piss break or gets a sandwich and leaves completely. XQC just does it. So there's also the intent as well. There was talk about XQC having permission to upload the videos in the way that he does and add the commentary in the way that he does to the content. But there is no way in hell that he would be able to have permission from every single piece of content that he has reacted to. There's no way. It's like you can make a recipe yours if you change the ingredients. Right. Exactly. And if you make a recipe and you don't change anything, it would be really cool to say, hey, this is so-and-so's recipe. You know, it's one thing if you get a recipe off like the Nestle bag, then it's like, well, that everyone knows that recipe. But if you find a recipe on a TikTok and then you make this recipe and you're making a video and you don't say this is so-and-so's recipe that was the 100% inspiration for making this, it's like, what are you doing? You know, like, that's so mean. That's so mean. It's just mean. It's just outright mean. And like, he like dug inside of his soul just to be mean. And it's not a good look, is like the biggest point to it. Like, being mean like that isn't a good look. It's great if you want to entertain jerk preteens and like 13 to like 16-year-olds. It works great. And XQC, I'm pretty sure that's your audience. So congratulations. You found your jerk zone, but it doesn't work past that. People grow out of like just opting to be a complete a-hole for no reason, willingly causing harm and taking like funds, financials away from people who worked really hard on making their content. Like, not everyone works the same amount on their content, but a lot of people work really hard on their content. They put a lot of time, they put a lot of energy. They're trying to turn it into views, which turns into money, which turns into better content in the future, and make a career out of it. Just like you, XQC. So who gives you the right to wash that away for someone just because you're too lazy to tag them? It's not like you're out furniture shopping. It made me so mad. It made me so mad. The entire debate was XQC getting extremely loud, yelling, screaming. I couldn't understand anything. I jacked Betty Crocker's pineapple upside down cake by changing three things. It's very frustrating when someone requests a debate and you get a level of energy that is very rare. I don't see a lot of people performing this way, and it's got to be a performance, because there's no way that what we saw in the H3 debate, him being at like a 12 and just spewing consonants. There were very rarely any vowels, and just spewing consonants and raising his voice for so long. It's so strange to me. The whole person, the personality, the character, it's very odd and disconcerting to me. It's very uncomfortable, and I was honestly a little worried about his well-being. He said that he didn't sleep for 2 days, and that's a problem. I know if I don't sleep for the normal amount of time one night, I am not the same the next day. So I could only imagine if 2 days, and what you have to do to your body to not, I don't know. It's very strange. I know there's a lot of people who can't sleep, but I've never seen or met or interacted with people who can't sleep to be that level of, I don't want to say hyper. It wasn't hyper. It was intense, guttural energy being forced through the teeth. And it's shocking. I was shocked. It was shocking. It was so wild. So yeah, it really just came down to XQC willingly being a jerk, not tagging anyone, not sending anyone to the original content, and making so much content that he doesn't even remember. Stealing the thumbnails willingly, knowingly that is also going to assist in stealing the views, and not giving a crap at all. He tried to kind of turn it around on Ethan Klein by calling out Ethan as a hypocrite, that a video, oh god so XQC sent the podcast a video to watch, and he edited out Ethan's commentary on a video, and said, "See, you're just as bad as me." And Ethan's like, "Okay, well, I edited a video as well, and I put all of your commentary, and I edited I just clipped it back to back to back, and it was an 8.5 minute video, and it was 40 seconds or something like that, something outrageously small amount of commentary added to the video, to the original content length. So it was very interesting to see the tactics from both sides, the dirty playing from XQC, and but here's this actual information in this situation from the H3 podcast. It was very interesting, and it all ended up in a very strange way. Oh, Hila actually came out to defend Teddy Fresh, because XQC, of course, was like, "You guys steal. Remember that one time you stole a design?" I don't know anything about it. I don't know nothing about nobody. I don't know anything about the Teddy Fresh stuff. I don't buy the Teddy Fresh. There's some cute stuff though. But Hila came out and had a nice little moment of if you have something to say about my business, talk to me. He doesn't do anything with it. So I thought that was very interesting. Other than that, XQC got a little winded, I think. I think his energy depleted, and he ended up just doing the worm. Yep. He ended up saying, "All right, well, screw you two. What do you want me to do? The worm?" And then got out of his chair and did the worm. A worm, not the worm. I feel like everyone watching has a very specific dance move in their brain when I say doing the worm, where it's very much but it wasn't it. So if you come across it online, that's his worm. Definitely not the worm that we were all thinking about. So that was the XQC debate. There was a lot of weird things that happened afterwards, and it was very clear that XQC had a moment of failure during this debate. Hi, Demi. How are you? Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here. Jjjacksfilms and Sssniperwolf, very similar conversation that we're going to have about Jjjacksfilms and Sssniperwolf. Jjjacksfilms is an OG YouTuber, been on the site for over 15 years at least, I think. I'm sure. At least 15 years. He makes fantastic content. He's smart, he's edgy, he's funny. I think he's fantastic, and I don't watch enough of his videos, which is a problem. Which I need to get back on that, because I enjoy Jjjacksfilms. He recognized Sssniperwolf, who is a female reactor to content. She does a lot of TikTok, react to like a lot of TikTok videos now. And it's just her, very similar to XQC in the corner, reacting very sort of monotonally and minimally to the content that she's watching. A lot of what I was cooking. Glenn, before we continue, what did you miss? You missed XQC being a loser, losing the debate, and then doing the worm. So Sssniperwolf, very similar to XQC. She doesn't really say much. So it's like I saw one where she was watching a TikTok, and it was a TikTok of a fire hydrant going off. So it was, water was shooting upwards, and she goes, "Wow, the fire hydrant exploded," and that was like it. I was like, wow, that's deep. You looked deep. You dug deep for that one, ma'am. You dug deep for that one. So it's a lot of very much like that, like, whoa, wow, no way, that just happened type of energy. Now there's a lot more people have their information available when she views the TikTok. She doesn't intentionally tag anybody, but sometimes the TikToks do have their like profile name in them. So that's, I guess, a plus in her court. She doesn't add much. She has been on the site for a very long time. She has like 30 million subscribers, I think it's like around 30 million, might be more than that. A lot of subscribers. She uploads daily. She gets millions and millions of views. She's making absolute bank from what she's doing. And Jjjacksfilms recognized this. And so he started, instead of SS Sniperwolf, he started Jjjacksfilms and is uploading daily. And is reacting to videos in a very similar manner, and says, if she can do it, I can do it. I want some of that reacting money, as a parody, as let's all recognize just how ridiculous this is. We could all just watch the TikToks and whisper the things that come into our head, because she's just doing it out loud. And so it's very much in the same vein as content thievery, that she is stealing these humans' content that they created, that they uploaded, that they deserve the views on, and adding nothing to them. Now, she does put more work into it. There's editing that happens. There's, the upload process. She uses pretty much the, 1 out of 4 pictures that she has of herself in the thumbnails. But it's just, I talked a little bit about the Jjjacksfilms Sniperwolf, Twitter drama that they had. So there was recognition that Sniperwolf had when it came to the Jjjacksfilms a channel that he was doing. And she got very defensive. And for her to get very defensive very quick when it comes to a joke or a parody is honestly understandable. For a woman on the internet, kind of growing through the trials and tribulations of being a woman on the internet, she has a right to be very defensive and very closed off when it comes to anyone in a means attacking her or coming at her. I can see why it would be a very I'm quick to be defensive energy. It's not easy. But the content that she makes is easy. I don't want to I don't want to add any like negativity towards her because it's a her. Like, I don't want to add any negativity to Sniperwolf because Sniperwolf is a woman and XQC is a man. I think they are on different levels of being bad, but I think they are on the same side of bad. It might be a little different level of being bad, but it is laughable that it's so big, that YouTube supports it, and doesn't support the knowledge that there is not enough information about the original IP holders within these types of videos that she uploads. I think it's laughable that Jjjacksfilms is doing a Jjjacksfilms. I support it. I don't think that there are a lot of people that I appreciate when it comes to like reaction or commentary esque-ness, like channels and stuff like that. So I think Sniperwolf, I don't know. I mean, she's not going to change her content. Why would she? She's making 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 million views a day. And that's all money. And she is monetizing other people's content. So there's no incentive to change other than a couple people complaining about it. It's her prerogative, but it is really not cool to do. It's really not cool. Tag the original creator, add some links in the description, pin a comment with all the links of the people you reacted to, show a little respect to the original creators. That's it. It's not hard. Like, you're already uploading a video. Like, just go do it. I don't know. It just seems very frustrating that someone has the balls to just straight up snatch someone else's content to make so much more money on it than the original content would make at all. I would cry. If that happened to me, I'd cry. I mean, I wouldn't like cry in like a video, but I would be mad. You would see Mad Lily. I'd be mad. And I'd probably say something witty, that I don't know what it is right now. Lizzo updates. Are we ready for some Lizzo updates? You guys, we talked a lot about the Lizzo lawsuit last week because everyone did, because it was the hottest topic of the day, of the week, of the month maybe. It was insane. The things that came out in the Lizzo lawsuit, it was a lot. Do I believe everything for the way it was written in the lawsuit? No. Do I believe that these dancers went through hell and back? Yes. Do I believe that everything they said Lizzo said or Lizzo did was in the way that they said? Not everything. I believe a lot of it, but I think there were some dramatized moments. I think only because of their perspective, though, not because it is dramatized. I think from their end, from their side, that it was dramatized, in their head, in their emotions, in their soul, because of the pile and pile and pile getting larger and larger and larger of all the things that they've endured. So it's a very tough thing to talk about because I believe these women were assaulted, were put through hell, were put in very uncomfortable situations, were made to feel that they had to do this or they would lose their jobs. I believe that, and that's awful, and they need justice for sure. The writing of the lawsuit, like the physical, actual, the way the words hit the paper, didn't really pull to me or tell me or fully make me feel like I was in a situation where every single thing and moment was the way it happened, the way that they said, you know? So I'm very interested to see how all of this continues to unfold, which it is. Hi, Crystalline, how are you? Which it is unfolding. We have more allegations that came out this past week. 6 more allegations, more humans claiming the harassment, the terrible work environment, being uncomfortable, being put in terrible, uncomfortable situations. All of this is more and more and more. And I was listening to a news report on this, and one of the men said, this is a very Me Too moment. And it is a very Me Too moment, because the original 3 came out and said, this is what's happened. You know, here are some of the things that I felt, and here are the things that happened, and here it is. And we're risking our careers, we're risking our, you know, all of our work, energy, blood, sweat, tears that we have put into becoming recognizable dancers, as big girls in the world of dance, which in performance and mainstream media, which is a major feat, and I would never take that away from them. They did incredible things with that, and they should be proud of every moment that they performed, and prove to the world that they are just as good and sometimes better than, you know, the typical backup dancer. And I would never take that away from them. And so with them coming out and risking so much to drop this lawsuit and to put all of these allegations out in the air, out in the media, out in the entire world, everyone's talking about this and reading about it and watching it and looking at it, more people are feeling supported and safe enough and comforted enough to share their own experiences. And obviously, they are real experiences that people experienced. I don't know why anyone would say, oh yeah, so all that happened to me. Like, it's not a fun bandwagon to jump on. It's a truth bandwagon. And here we are sharing our truths. Now, with that comes a lot of negativity. Before I speak more, fortunately, I am really happy to see the majority of the words given to all of the accusers and victims are supportive and kind. I have seen a good amount of, but there's no way Lizzo could have done it type of stuff. And like, you don't know. Like, unless you were there, you don't know. And that's why I say, when I'm talking about the lawsuit and when they mention I felt, or to me it felt like, you know, those types of phrases don't really solidify the details of the scene that they were in, that they're describing, where something illegal or bad or negative happened, because I can feel right now that I'm being attacked by, you know, the chat, but it's all very nice and kind and gentle and fantastic and supportive things, but I could be in a state or have had a bad day and feel that, you know, so feeling things when it comes to the words of the lawsuit made me a little rocky on a few things, not all of them. So that's where I wanted to kind of clarify some things as well. So Lizzo has more allegations coming out, and I suspect there will be even more, that there will be at least a third wave of dancers and creators and, you know, other just employees from the whole Lizzo experience, the whole Lizzo life, coming out to share their experiences as well. I expect there to be a third wave of it. She's worked with a lot of people. She's done a lot. She's been a lot of places. She's performed everywhere. And she's been through a lot just in general. So there's a lot of people. And if she was the way that they are all saying, which, I mean, there's a lot of people saying that she was. So I would expect more people to come out and support even more. I think it's called Made in America. I have a link. Yes. Made in America in Philadelphia is like a festival, music festival. And it was supposed to be headlining SZA, SZA, I'm sure I'm from, like, I know the music, but like I'm not really familiar. I don't listen to mainstream music. I don't really listen to a lot of it. And Lizzo, they were supposed to headline the Made in America like 2-day music festival in Philadelphia, and that has been canceled. And let me read you the note that they sent out. So Made in America Festival posted, due to severe circumstances outside of production control, the 2023 Made in America Festival will no longer be taking place. This decision has been difficult and has not been made lightly, nor without immense deliberation. Made in America has a legacy of delivering exceptional experiences for music fans and concert goers, and it is our commitment to always deliver a top-tier festival experience. Let's see. Oh, we look forward to returning to Benjamin Franklin Parkway and the great city of Philadelphia in 2024. All ticket holders will be refunded. So basically, we're not doing it because clearly shit's going down, which is very frustrating for Philadelphia as just a place and the humans and businesses that exist there, and the ticket purchasers, the people who had tickets to this festival, don't get a festival. The city, the town, the area, the immediate surrounding businesses don't get that financial boost that this massive festival that has the most, like, the biggest known performers coming into town, bringing in so much money. I mean, 2 nights can make or break a business's livelihood. Living in a town that has a pretty large window for tourism, it is the energy is tense. Businesses, the small businesses in the town with that exist within like a tourist spot, are just grabbing at every penny during these weeks to get them through the fall and winter, because people don't go to a place that doesn't have really anything going on in the fall or winter. There's school, there's work, there's jobs, there's holidays, so everyone's just kind of existing. But when the tourism hits, you want every penny because you want to be even better off in the fall and winter than the year before. And so a massive festival in a town that, I mean, Philadelphia is big, but how many like big gathering moments do they get with young people looking to spend some money, spend a long weekend? You know, they're going out to eat, they're getting cabs, they're going to bars, they're doing this and shopping and this and that. It's big, it's massive. And so Lizzo has taken that away from a lot of people. So she hasn't just put her own employees in jeopardy of, you know, mental health abuse, sexual harassment, judgment, assault, but she's also put a lot of small businesses at potential risk for taking away, you know, a major money-making weekend. And she should be disappointed. I'm disappointed, Lizzo. There's a lot of people disappointed in you. We were all rooting for you. Man, what else is going on? The drama is crazy, you guys. The drama is crazy. So what else? Little Tay. Oh my God, I'm such a boomer. Little Tay. So Lil Tay, you guys remember Lil Tay? She was like 12 or 13 when she was big. She was flaunting handfuls of cash. She was rapping and being like all like hood and gangster. Oh my gosh. And she was like making like little videos on like Instagram and stuff. And she was like flexing near like really expensive cars and garages and like standing on like houses in Beverly Hills and like yelling, got this, like, I'm holding your mama's rent. And she had like a wad of money in her hand. And then she's just got massive. It was just this little girl just being so much that clearly wasn't her. Like, it was very much a very strong character that was made for views and for clicks. At least that's what I thought everyone else believed. But I think a lot of people believe that like this little thing This small, you know, a non-developed yet because of time human is making stacks and stacks on cash and has like Audis. And I don't know why I thought Audi when I said, say, a really fancy car, a Ferrari, Aston Martin, a Bugatti. What color is your Bugatti? And like having all those cars, and look at all these houses that are like pristinely decorated, and there's like a plate of chocolate chip cookies. So that Little Tay was 5 years ago, and then Little Tay was teaming up with like rappers and making more videos and getting more followers and getting more views, and she was everywhere. Everyone knew Little Tay, and then she just like disappeared. Like, seriously, like, she legitimately just disappeared. It came out that after she disappeared, that her mom and dad divorced, or at least separated. I don't want to, like, say the wrong things. Her brother was making, like, I guess, similar type of like raps that like wanting to start beef, like diss tracks with like large content creators, but it wasn't getting anywhere. And so he's like, you know, it'd be really cool if you said all the things that I'm saying, because coming from like a 12-year-old little girl, that would be bonkers and people will lose their shit. And they did. And they did lose their shit. So Lil Tay, and then of course the mom was like, views and money, sell these houses, because her mom was a realtor, and that's why she was always at like these fancy houses in like Beverly Hills. Like, look at this view. I'm shitting on the valley. Like, that's so wild. It's so bonkers. And people were like, oh my god, how does she do it? Tell me your secrets, Lil Tay. Sorry, it's so funny. It's not funny. It's funny, but it's not funny. Okay, so 5 years ago, that was like a thing that happened. Lil Tay disappeared. Terrible situation. The mom, the dad, the brother, all of that. It's abuse. They were abusing this little girl. They were making her do these things. She didn't want to do it. And that's sad. And that's disappointing from adults to do to a child. Like, the child has the best level-headed brain in a situation, in like a room full of adults. Like, y'all are idiots. And then just a couple days ago, we get an Instagram post from Lil Tay's account. And it's like, sorry, but Lil Tay and her brother passed away. And everyone's like, shit. For real? Like, we all had a moment of like, this isn't going to be good. Whatever reason that both of them passed away at the same time is going to be absolutely terrible. This sucks. This is awful. This is terrible. We all knew it was a terrible thing, what was going on. There was like a custody battle or something like that. It was just a mess. It was just a mess. Like, just a messy family business ending up being all over like social media, and now passing away. About a day and a half later, we find out, wrong. Nobody passed away. Well, like, I'm sure like humans passed away, but Lil Tay and her brother didn't. So why was there like a well, like, educated post written out in like 2 paragraphs that you did? They claimed we got hacked, and it took you a day and a half to unhack yourself and say no, because the post blew up and it went bonkers. Vanity Fair was reporting that Lil Tay and her brother passed away. Just moments after the Instagram post went up, and it was like, management was like, yeah, they did. And like, it went bonkers. No research was put into it. No one like called anyone and said, is it true? But of course, Lil Tay and her family were getting phone calls from families and friends, like their family members and their friends and their associates and people who know them. Like, are you serious? Like, what is going on? No, they're not. They haven't passed away. This is a hoax or a hack. So like, we don't know. We don't know if it was a hoax or a hack. But all I do know is that if someone said, hey, and like posted on one of my social medias and was like, hey, sorry, I'm I'm gone. And then I immediately saw like all of the notifications and the movement on this. I would clearly come out as fast as possible and say, I was hacked. I am not. I'm fine. And like hold up a newspaper or something. Like I would. Why would you do that to people? Because when you were like finishing up your little moment before you disappeared, there was so much energy towards making sure you were okay. And when you disappeared, there was so much energy towards where is she? Like, is Lilty okay? Like, is she good? Like, all we care about is if she's safe. Like, we don't care if that she's doing a character and it's fake money and it's someone else's cars and it's her mom's houses that she's trying to sell. Like, is the little girl okay? She's a child. And there was all of that movement there. And then to fake 5 years later, to fake a passing, you're still up to your antics. And that's not cool. And what I feel happened is that there was some sort of court order that so-and-so couldn't post on social media. And then that court order date hit and like, okay, you can now post on social media like you're old enough or something. And it was to immediately get attention, let's fake a passing. That's what I feel. I don't have any information or evidence to corroborate that, but that's what I feel. That's just in my soul. That's just in my blood. That's just what I feel, because it took you so long. It took your dad, your mom, your brother, you so long to come out and say, no, I'm good. Why? That's a terrible thing to do to people. That's absolutely awful, and you should be ashamed of yourself if you did that. If you really were hacked and you just didn't know, like you were busy, like you didn't have phone service or something, okay, you're off, but like, come on. I don't know. That was very disappointing. Very disappointing. So what did we talk about? XQC, Lizzo, Jjjacksfilms, Mr. Beast is being sued. Remember when we talked about Mr. Beast? I think that was just last week. Mr. Beast suing the celebrity vending CVD or something like that. Celebrity vending, the company that created Mr. Beast Burger. He's suing them because of the inedible burgers. It's raw meat being delivered. Packaging isn't right. You can't control the quality because you're a ghost kitchen and you're using so many different places, and people's food wasn't showing up. It was just a terrible situation, and it was causing problems for the Mr. Beast brand. And he couldn't get out of the contract, and the only way to get out of the contract was to do this lawsuit and potentially get out of the contract, because it's just so terrible, and there hasn't been any movement to make the food better, to make the quality better, to control the quality, to keep the packaging up to date, to do any of that. So there wasn't any movement. So Mr. Beast finally said, look, I have to sue you guys because this is crap. You guys are ruining my brand. So that company that created Mr. Beast Burger, that Mr. Beast signed a contract with, said, you know what? That's really interesting that you want to sue us. I'm going to sue you for breach of contract. For basically saying, my nose is running, for basically saying, I'm like so energized today. We're basically saying like, look, you can't sue us because you didn't fulfill your contract demands. You signed this contract, you knew all the things you had to do, and you stopped doing all the things, and you can't sue us, so we're going to counter-sue you for breach of contract. That's really it with that. And so, like, of course, this is just going to be a crazy, psychotic lawsuit mess. Like, lawyer versus... And it's so gross, because we all can see, like, in a court of public opinion, Mr. Beast is right, and this celebrity company that creates these types of things is wrong. They did nothing to control the quality, and we can see it. If you just go to Twitter or Facebook or Instagram and like hashtag Mr. Beast Burger, you're going to see all of the garbage that people are receiving. And this too was not like a fun little bandwagon to jump on. Like, you're getting crap food that you spent a shit ton of money on. And Mr. Beast's name is on it. So that was crazy. I guess another thing I wanted to talk about is the Maui fire. Have you guys been keeping up with this? Because I have, and I'm really concerned. There's a lot going on with this fire. So this is a very interesting situation that we have with the fire out in Maui. And I'm probably not pronouncing it the way it's supposed to be pronounced. I'm sorry. I don't want, I'd rather say this than attempt to say something with a fun accent and like offend anyone, so I'm just gonna stick to that. So if anyone gets offended by that, I'm so sorry. I don't know what to do, because I've heard it like 17 different ways just the past day. So Maui was on fire. It's dying down. A good chunk of the fires are dying down, but it was a very, very intense few days. And the thing is, people aren't really talking about it anymore. Like, I've seen, obviously there was a massive uptick in Maui fire news. And then there's like, okay, well, it's dying down and they can get help on the island now. But it is far, far from over. So the first thing I wanted to do was figure out why this is happening. Because in my brain, I'm like, this is an island. This is an island in the middle of the ocean, surrounded by water, and it should be like tropical and wet, but it's not. They were in the middle of a drought. There was no rain. There was no rainfall. There was no moisture coming in to the physical island, and then there were storms off the coast, and so they were bringing up all this wind. They're in a dry area, they're in a drought, and so the fires start, just like they do in Canada, just like they do in the Northwest, just like they do, well, a lot of Californias like start with like cigarette butts and stuff like that, but just like they do in California, when it's dry and there's winds and there's heat and there's scrapings and sparks and all the things, fires start. And when it's really dry, fires spread super fast, and when there's a lot of winds, they spread even faster. And so it's really interesting to be like, but you're an island in the middle of the ocean, but you're also in a drought. So it's very, very tough. The fire engulfed so much in Maui that it's not just, oh, there's a fire. It's run for your life. Jump in the ocean to not get burnt in the fire. That's where I was 2 years ago. Everyone there locally was saying Lahaina. Oh, Sarah. Yeah, it is, oh, God. Oh, it breaks my heart. People are dying. People are trapped. People were waiting in the water for hours upon hours because their homes caught on fire and they had nowhere to go. The other problem is they weren't able to bring a lot of help very quickly. There's not, if you're in Buffalo and there's a massive snowstorm, or there's like a fire, or there's a massive tornado or something like that, there are means and humans and physical things to help with all of the things you can think of. Tractors, plows, snow trucks, all the things within like walking distance. There's people. They can be there in an hour. They can be there in 2 hours. But with a fire that's completely out of control, and billowing smoke, and intense winds from storms, you can't control like visibility. You can't get help in. You're already very far from like a large place that would be like prepared for something like this. Like, I'm sure the islands have some emergency protocols set up and tools available to them, but not like they would like New York City or Buffalo or, LA. It doesn't have the same human energy, human force availability. Like Sarah said, tons of history destroyed. There was so much that was lost with these fires immediately in a split second. And it's it's easy to be like, well, it's Hawaii, it's a vacation destination, but it's not. It's people's homes. It's people's ancestral like grounds. There's so much more history there than there is in like anywhere in like the continental states. There's so much there. And my friend Cheryl got married right on that beach that you see in all the pictures that is now turned into like a sand dune due to all the winds and everything. It's very shocking, and it hits home to a lot more people than just the people who live there. And there is a lot of people who have lost their lives, and there's a lot of effort to save as many people as possible. A lot of people, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot of people have lost their homes. I watched an interview of a family, and they said, we just got in the car and drove. The only thing we have are the clothes on our back, and our house is completely gone. Completely gone. And so there's a lot of good ways to help. You can donate if you have some, finances available to help donate. There's like the Red Cross, I believe. There's a lot of places to donate. There's going to be a lot of animal help, like veterinarian help for animals. There's a lot of pets. There's a lot of animals that just exist in that area that have lost their homes as well. We forget about the animals that live in the trees, that the animals that live in the brush, the birds that have lost their nests. So there's a lot that's going to be affected. So if you have it available, every dollar counts when it comes to not just getting people back into a home, but making sure people in these shelters have the necessities, soap, towels, blankets, pillows, a little bit of humanity, the feeling of humanity, a little bit of hope goes a long way for people in these types of situations. It's heartbreaking. It is so heartbreaking to see such a peaceful, like joyful piece of our country and the world just up in flames. And I hope that people start maybe taking climate change a little bit more seriously. Cross my fingers. There's only so much I can do, but if these big companies, maybe, I don't know. And just a thought. So I wanted to touch on that as well. Keep watching information about Maui. Keep watching information about the fires. Engage with the reliable news sources, and just keep telling them that you need more information, that you need to stay on it, because things like this, like hurricanes, tornadoes, rip through towns, they get a day or two on the news and then they're gone, and support dissipates. So keep telling these reporters and these news media outlets that you want them to stay there. Keep us on supporting us, because it's America, like that's what we're supposed to do. Don't just leave once the fires die down. Keep the information coming and keep it shared. They don't have phone service. Like the first thing that they were working to get back up was phone service. There's no communication. There's no phone service. There's no internet. There was no power. They have nothing. They just have each other and a couple of larger buildings that they're able to call shelters. That was it. So this is like a big one that I'm gonna keep my eye out on and try to stay up to date on as best as possible. It's kind of sad. It's sad to end on a sad note. Papa John's, We could end on Papa John's and it not be a terribly sad note. How about that? So Papa John's, Schnatter is his last name. Papa Schnatter, I'll call him. He had a lawsuit again. So you may not even know. If you don't know, the CEO of Papa John's, who is the face of Papa John's that we all know of when you think of Papa John's, he is no longer the CEO of Papa John's, because remember when he dropped the N-word in a phone call? In like a phone meeting, remember that? And I believe it was a hard R. So that was, and then that basically ousted him and he was no longer CEO. There was drama there, but sum it up. He filed a lawsuit against the company, I believe it's called Laundry Service, that he was like on the phone with. They were having a little meeting, a little to-do on the phone, and they leaked the phone call. So he's suing them, and it has been going like back and forth, and they have finally agreed. The judge was like, okay, who could forget? And so the judge was finally like, all right, we're going to trial. You have 2 weeks, 14 days to agree on a trial start date. Papa John's is going to trial. Papa John. Do you think his name is John? Probably. That would make sense. Schnatter. 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 So they're going to court. They're going to trial. I would love to stream trials like here on like Insane Games TV. That's a thing that I'm like trying to do, so I'd love to do that as well, because I think that'd be really cool. It'd be really interesting to see what is going to happen. I don't know if it's even going to be live streamed, but like what's going to happen in the Schnatter trial and the Papa John's trial. Wow. Papa John is like super rich too. He's like rich. But anywho, so that's a better note to leave on. I guess, because that doesn't affect us at all. But yeah, so that's me. That's Lily's News. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. It means a lot. Thank you all so much for being here. That's so cool. If you aren't already subscribed to Insane Games TV, I suggest subscribing. There's a lot of, I wanted to talk about Logan Paul too. There's like a WWE Logan Paul thing. Just put in TikTok, go to TikTok, WWE Logan Paul. You'll see it. You'll know what I'm talking about. It was wild. That's really all the breath I want to give that man anyway. If you're not subscribed to Insane Games TV, definitely subscribe. There's a lot of other content. They have Twitch as well, so they have Insane Games TV _ on Twitch, so they stream all these things. There's a lot happening over here. I'm here every Friday at 5 p.m. to bring you Lily's News and talk about all the things that I have been obsessing on throughout the week. Hi Shanna, how are you? Hello. So subscribe, turn on notifications, smash that like button, all those YouTube things to help everyone out, and I will see you all next Friday at 5 p.m. with more drama. All right, thank you for being here. Bye, guys. I gotta go over there to do it. Okay, bye.